Do, 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 do. I am so ready for Halloween, but that's not what we're talking about today. Do you like my new friend? Aww, so cute. Okay, I like Halloween a little bit too much. So we're going to talk about food today. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about what goes in your mouth. Do you want to feel healthy, lose weight, gain weight? What goes into your mouth is important. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Specifically, I'm not here to discuss specifics in diet or which is best for you or other people, but in general, I'm going to just show you how I'm doing mine currently. So we're going to specifically look at how you would calculate your calories, how many calories you should be eating, I should say, how you calculate your macronutrients, your protein, fat, and carbohydrates that you should be eating, and then the percentage of calories that you should be eating of each of those, and how to adjust your MyFitnessPal. So this is exactly what I'm doing right now in this process of getting back to healthy. I love healthy, so that's what I'm doing. I am doing more of a plant-based, low to moderate carb diet for lots of different reasons. We can talk about that another time, but that is my goal, is to get as much of my protein from plants as possible because I feel the best on that, and that's why I do that. So we're going to be totally ghetto, and I'm going to show you how to calculate all this stuff. You'll see what I mean by ghetto in a minute. Okay, I have to set you up on my ghetto. Here we go. I have to lean you up against my glass. Okay, here is, yeah, you can see that. Okay, perfect. So we're going to calculate how many calories you should be eating based off of your body type and how active you are. So we're going to just jump right into it. This is the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, and we're going to be calculating your basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories your body consumes by doing nothing. So to calculate that, it's 10 times your weight in kilograms. You will take your pounds and divide by 2.2 to get the number of kilograms you weigh. And then you will add that to 6.25 times your height in centimeters. And you will take your height in inches, multiply it by 2.54 to get your centimeters. And then you'll take that, you'll subtract 5 times your age. And you will subtract 161 for women and 5 for men. So that there's a difference in how you calculate this. Your weight should be your current weight. So use that to calculate your BMR. So I'm going to show you an example of mine. So we'll just go through this real quick. It's 10 times 62.3 kilograms plus 6.25 times 170.2 centimeters minus 5 times 33 minus 161. So you guys know how to do math, I'm going to assume. So that equals 1360.8. So this is how much you consume, how many calories you consume at rest. But you are active throughout the day, so you have to apply an activity factor to it. So you will multiply this by this number over here. So I'll just put this big old multiply sign. If you are sedentary, have a desk job, go to the mailbox, back, lift your remote, you should be 1.2. 1.375 is for those that are, you have light activity. Let's just put light here. And that's maybe you work out 1 to 3 times a week. So I don't work out, but I am pretty dang active throughout the day. I walk around a lot, so I use light. 1.55 will be if you work out like 3 to 5 times per week. Yeah, 3 to 5 times per week. 1.725 is 6 to 7 times per week. And then if you are like a major athlete, you will be in the 1.9. Most people are not even in this range. So this is where I fall. So I'm going to multiply this by this 1.375. And that gives me 1871.1 calories. This is how many calories I use every day through walking, breathing, body, everything. So this is how many, to maintain where I'm at, I should be eating. But if I want to lose weight, which I do, I want to lose a little bit of my pounds, you give a calorie deficit to it. So however much you take away, that will essentially be the amount of fat calories you are going to be losing. Now, there are lots of things that influence this, but this is just the basics. We're not going to go into hormonal, all of those crazy things. So this is just the basics, very basic, like typical person. So if I want to lose 1 pound per week, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So I am going to say I'm going to eat 500 less calories per day to lose 1 pound per week. That's for everyone. 500 calories per day will lose 1 pound per week. So this leaves me with 1371.1 calories. And I just want to mention now, you really shouldn't go, they say you shouldn't go below about 1,200 or so for women. Men is a little bit different, but keep that in mind. Going too low will completely counteract any weight loss, and your body will go into starvation mode. Don't do that. Do not starve yourself. So this is how many calories per day I need to consume. So now I want to calculate how much of this should be protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Micronutrients are super important. That's your minerals, your vitamins, antioxidants, all of that. Super important, but they don't give you calories. So that's why we're only calculating protein, fat, and carbohydrate grams. So to do that, there are a lot of different methods, but I'm going to show you the how much, the one that I'm doing. So for protein, I am going to be trying, and I will kind of I'll make this work for me. I'm going to start with this and then just see, do I want to tweak things? It's always good to talk to a health professional if you don't have the health background necessarily. I do recommend that so that you do it safely. So I'm going to do 1 gram of protein per pound of my goal weight. So this should always be your goal weight. And my goal weight is going to be 135. Right now, I weigh 136.9 right now. So I don't really want to lose that much, but I want to lose fat and gain muscle. So my goal weight is still 135 is where I want to be. So that equals 135, obviously. And then in my fat, 0.4 grams. These ratios are good for fat loss, lower carb diet. So that's why I'm going after these specifically. And that's why, yeah, we're not going in today into what is healthy, what is not. This is just what I'm doing right now. So 0.4 times my 135 is 54 grams. And then for my carbohydrates, that's where you actually back calculate how many carbohydrates you should have. So I'll show you how to do this. You'll take your 135 grams and we're going to calculate how many calories that equals. So in your biology or chemistry classes, health classes, you learned that 1 gram of protein is or 1 calorie is 4 grams of protein. Sorry, 1 gram is 4 calories. So that equals 540 calories right there. So if I eat 135 grams of protein, it's 540 calories. So if I do the same thing with this, fat has 9 calories per gram, and that is going to equal 486 calories. I already did the math ahead. I'm not a genius. So if you add these together, you get a certain quantity total. But what we're going to do is actually just back calculate and say, okay, I have 1371 calories to eat. I'm eating 540 in protein, 486 in fat. So that leaves me with 345.1 calories of carbs. And you can back calculate. We know that there's 4 calories per carbohydrate, so that equals 86.3 grams. And my goal weight's 135. So you take that, divide by 4, and you get 86.3 grams. And then to back calculate 135, you will just take your grams divided by your weight. So 86.3 divided by your weight will give you how many grams per pound you're consuming. So 0.64 grams per pound is what I will be eating in carbs. So this is the ratio, and this is how many calories. So what I want to do specifically to use MyFitnessPal is calculate what percent of total calories my protein is. So I'll just take 54 divided by 1371, and that's going to be 40%. So 40% of my calories are coming from protein, and I'll do the same thing here, and that's 35%. And then for calories, carbs, that's 25%. So this should add up to 100. If it doesn't, recheck your math, but that should add up to 100. So you will use this in MyFitnessPal. These are the total number of grams of each of these that you want to be consuming. So this is kind of like what you'll watch, but if you use MyFitnessPal and don't want to pay the premium price for the Pro series, whatever they call it, you actually just want to calculate this. And I will show you how to do that right now. I'm going to use my husband's phone because I'm using mine, obviously. Okay, so here we go. Oh, yay, people are on. Okay, sorry, I haven't seen anything if you've said things. So I'm going to first get to MyFitnessPal. You jump on. Have it load. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to this More tab, and then you're going to go to Goals right there. And then you'll have your goals up here. You can fill all that in, but what you want to come down to is this calorie and macronutrient goal. So mine is, I just reset it to 2,000. So my calories right now are at 2,000. So what I'm going to do is type in my total calories, which was 1371. And then I'm going to adjust my carbohydrates and protein and fat percentages. So my carbs was 25%, my protein was 40%, and my carbs was 35%. So I hit go, and for some reason it jumped back to 2,000. No, I want 1371. Oops. Okay, there we go. So now I am going to be, my goals are to consume 1371 calories, 86 grams in carbohydrates, and 25%, 137 for 40%, and 53 grams of fat for 35%. It automatically calculated it based off of that, and you'll see that these are the same. So that's pretty cool. That's a sweet way that you do not have to do the enter your information in grams by paying for like the locked little thing. So you can kind of cheat the system. So when you go in to use the nutrition, you'll do your little diary down here. That's not a very good picture, and it's going in and out, sorry. Okay, come on, there we go. And then you will, oh, oops, it went crazy. If you hit diary, it'll show you like what you've been eating throughout the day. And if you choose anything or if you add anything, you can automatically see how many like grams of fat you ate and all of that. What I really like to use is actually this, going back, it's this nutrition button. And if you look at nutrients, it'll show you specifically your total protein is 121 that I've eaten today. My goal is 137, so I've got 16 grams left to eat. Carbs was 81, and my goal was 86, so that's awesome. Hey Heather, hey Joni and Marcy. So the fat, I ate a little bit too much. I'm trying to remember why that jumped over, but yeah, that jumped over. Yeah, so MyFitnessPal is super awesome. It's super easy, and it's actually the best. It's the best food tracker that I found that has all of the food. Like if you can scan things in it. If you're going to go enter food, super easy. You can see I'm just doing this like crazy. Jump that in there, and then you can hit the scan, and then it'll scan your food, and it's super awesome. And it has so many foods in there compared to other ones. I've used a handful of other ones. And yeah. Yes, Heather, I went low carb. So there we go. You were eating a ton of fat at 80 to 100. I don't know that I could do that. I probably could. I went over my fat today. But anyway, so yeah, let me flip around. Do you guys have any questions on any of that? How to calculate your macros or your nutrients, your macronutrients, your calories, all of that stuff. I like it because it gives you a target and lets you know how you're doing on your diet rather than just saying I'm gonna eat healthy. So my lip color is nutmeg. I love it. I love nutmeg. It's a perfect fall color. So yeah, I love it. It's way cool. So, and it's been on all day. Love this stuff. Yeah, Heather, you should double check. You are doing fantastic. You're losing fat, so it works. Yeah, and I would say like low carb, high fat, or yeah, is not like super long-term crazy unless you're getting your micronutrients in there as well. Eating your veggies and your fruits, which make you feel good as well. So all you people out there, eat your fruits and veggies too. So I'm going to be trying to post some recipes as well as just give you guys ideas of how to do, I don't want to say a vegetarian keto diet because that sounds horrible, but if you want to put a label to it, I'm doing, yeah, a plant-based low-carb diet. So that's how we're rolling. I'm not going to drag this out anymore, but if you have, oh, I can't see anything. Okay. I will see y'all later. So thanks for joining, and toodaloo until next time. Happy eating. Mwah.